So I kinda lied to y'all. If you had seen the video that we made 7 days ago, talking about how we needed to talk, you would have seen my commentary about my vacation plans and how there were pre-recorded videos over the next 7 days. That all came out fine. I'm happy with the views, I'm happy with the conversations that we had. But I did say, in this vlog 1 week ago, that maybe we might make some vlogs. I might go out there at Epcot or something, record myself in the summer Orlando heat. And unfortunately, that did not end up happening. Firstly, because there wasn't anything that I actually thought was worth making a video about, which would have made me bust my phone out in the smoldering 37 degrees Celsius hot, humid Orlando environment, but also because I just kind of said to myself, it's supposed to be dead season in the NHL, right? We're not doing much. We're talking about Marner, we're talking about McDavid not signing an extension, but now I'm back in Vancouver, at least for the next few days. I'll be out and about going to Taiwan later this week. But we have ourselves a huge update on Carey Price and the Montreal Canadiens, and this is so huge that I am literally recording this audio on the night of Sunday, August 31st. It's 11 p.m. PST. It's 2 a.m. in Montreal and on the East, the time zone in which I was at earlier this morning. But we are making an impromptu emergency Carey Price trade update video because realistically, this might be the last time we can make it. This guy is going to get his gosh darn signing bonus paid out to him in about 12 hours or so. And at that point, he could get traded. So, let's dive into the latest on Carey Price as it has been told by Marco D'Amico. This is what RG Media went out there and said via D'Amico on Twitter earlier this morning. I've heard the Montreal Canadiens would move Price to line up another trade. It's simply a question of when. With his signing bonus paid, sources expect the Habs to move Carey Price's contract, freeing cap space for potential in-season trades. This is not surprising, but it does give us an opportunity to dive into what possibilities exist for Montreal. Let's expand more so on some of the D'Amico conversation, though, because he did respond to the RG Media tweet saying this: Carey Price's contract should be traded this upcoming week, with sources suggesting San Jose, Chicago, or Pittsburgh as destinations. The Canadiens are trading Price's contract to open themselves up to the possibility of another trade. The timing on that second trade, though, is to be determined. So this seems to be the timeline, the ways in which Montreal will use this money over the next little while here. They're going to trade Carey Price and his $10 million AAV deal with 1 season left over to a team like San Jose, Chicago, or Pittsburgh. And then later on, at some point, they're going to use that freed up money to make another trade that will possibly help out the team in the now. To help us out with this, let's head over onto the Marco D'Amico RG.org article, More Roster Flexibility. A Price move is key to the Habs' fall trade strategy. This piece will be linked in the description, but I'm very intrigued as to how D'Amico labels it out here, the Habs' fall trade strategy. This is not a trade that they're going to be making sometime at the deadline in 2026, sometime after the Olympic break in February. Nah, Montreal could be looking to move out Price and use that money relatively soon, when you think about the length of time a full-term NHL season usually goes for. Key takeaways from this article go as follows. The Montreal Canadiens could trade Carey Price's contract in the coming days. Price will be paid his $5.5 million signing bonus on Monday, which is a major stepping stone to moving the contract. I've heard the Canadiens would move Price's contract to help line up another trade, said another NHL source. This article was from earlier this afternoon, and yeah, I could have gone out there and made a video about it, but I was in North Carolina. I was in Charlotte. I was at the airport. We had to stick around there for a while, so I was not really in a position to bust out the phone and vlog, especially in a really busy airport that was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Great city, by the way. Just was not really able to explore it. Let's dive into what D'Amico writes about in regards to Carey Price. Albeit unofficially retired, the expectation across the NHL is that Carey Price's contract should be moved in the coming days. With 1 year remaining at $10.5 million, albeit with only $7.5 million in actual salary owed, the Canadiens could be in a spot to move the contract to open their cap possibilities. The reasoning behind the trade is simple. The Canadiens are projected to be about $6 million over the salary cap at the moment, and they wouldn't be able to do the cap gymnastics required to make it work this year. In past years, Montreal would be about $1 or $2 million over the cap the day before the season. They'd maneuver their way around the cap by sending a few waiver-exempt youngsters to Laval for a day in order to get under the cap and then subsequently putting Price on LTIR. No dice this year, though, the final year of Price's contract, and with his final signing bonus, $5.5 million, being paid out today, there has never been a better time to move the contract. This is where the NHL sources come in and get their thoughts out there. I've heard Price's contract being in play for a while. Things should shake loose as of September 1st or soon after. I can't see the Canadiens going into the season with that anchor on their salary cap. Now, of course, that's not surprising. We've all heard about Carey Price's contract being played for a while here. He's been talked about, he's been discussed, and now we're talking about teams San Jose, Pittsburgh, Chicago. As of the writing of this article, Price is expected to be traded at some point in the week. Sources have heard the most amount of noise around the Sharks, who are just $5 million over the salary cap floor with 9 UFAs, 5 of which are D-men that could be prime trade candidates. Acquiring a contract like Price's would give them the necessary insurance to trade some of their higher-priced players without dipping under the salary cap floor. This tactic was used by the Blackhawks in 2025 when they acquired Shea Weber's $7.8 million deal in order to stay above the cap floor after moving Seth Jones and Mrazek. The Blackhawks have been rumored to be a team that could be interested in Price's deal as well for the exact same reasons as San Jose. Salary floor insurance. Another surprising team that was suggested by an NHL source would be the Penguins, who count 10 UFAs and have made it no secret of their intentions to rebuild. Although they are $12 million above the salary cap floor, sources have indicated that the Penguins could strip it down early and trade some vets if they continue to dwell in the basement of the NHL standings. So, with all that in mind, I do want to think about the possibilities with Pittsburgh. I mean, they do have some valuable players that are UFAs, and obviously I'm not going to go out there and suggest, oh, it would be Carey Price for Ricard Raquel. Like, obviously that's not how it's going to go down. Montreal would have to add some extra value there. But for a team like Pittsburgh, I do think they have the most interesting set of players to be available on the trade block compared to San Jose and Chicago. So I do kind of keep my eyes peeled out there for what the Pens could have in store. The article then goes out there and says here, in reaching out to sources close to the situation, the next step for Montreal is unanimous. Wait and see how the market shakes out. I haven't heard anything is imminent with a top 6 center with training camp set to start in a few weeks, but I've heard they are monitoring a few situations in case teams have a change of heart between now and the December roster freeze. Essentially, Montreal would not need to immediately dive into a trade. But if there is a second-line center, somebody that is available, that puts himself out there on the market, if a team disappoints early out the gate and they want to sell early, try to get that Gavin McKenna shot for their franchise, then Montreal could be in a spot to bounce at it if they free up that Price contract. And really, I should say when they free up that Price contract, and when you see Kent Hughes starting to talk out a little bit more. So, with that in mind, there's a little bit more info here in the bottom of the piece that talks about trade periods and what other teams could be in the market for top 6 centers. But with all this in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the latest on Carey Price and his trade situation with the Habs? What are your thoughts about where he is going to go? We might get our answer in the span of about 8 hours or so. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Price and his deal. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.